Hello everyone, welcome to my lesson. And on today's lesson, we will be talking about bioprinting. Introduction. What is bioprinting? Bioprinting is a type of 3D printing that combines living cells with biomaterial, and biomaterial can be natural or human-made. This is used to create replicas of real tissue, bones, blood vessels, and even organs. Bioprinting was first introduced by a professor named Thomas Boland at Clemson University in the early 2000s. Bioprinting simply started as a regular printer that was altered by Boland to print cell patterns. Ever since, bioprinting has constantly been evolving in the field of tissue engineering. Unfortunately, there is still a long way to go until bioprinting is suitable for human use, but in 2026, this technology is anticipated to make an impact. So how does this work? This is a very basic overview of how bioprinting works because depending on the printer that you have, some of these steps can be modified to fit the printer's needs. So first, you need to create a digital file or a 3D model of the tissue, bone, skin, or organ that you want to create, and this is then read by the printer. Next, you must combine the biomaterial with the cell sample that you'll be using to create this 3D replica. Next, the actual bioprinting starts as you will need to load your concoction onto the printer. After the printing is done, you will need to treat it with either UV light or ionic solution and apply a cell medium. A cell medium is a gel or a liquid solution that you use to produce growth into artificially made cells. And you add this medium onto your new created material. And finally, you intubate your created material. This is a quick video of the bioprinting being used.
In tonight's Health Watch, a groundbreaking surgery using a 3D printed ear made of human cells. Doctors implanted the ear in a woman from Mexico, as seen in this before and after photograph. The procedure is part of a clinical trial by 3D Biotherapeutics. The ear was reconstructed using cells from the patient who was born with a misshapen ear. Researchers hope to use the same procedure with patients born with microtia. It's a rare congenital deformity where one or both outer ears is absent or underdeveloped. That affects about 1,500 babies born in the United States each year.
So, what are the advantages of bioprinting? The main advantage is the impact that it will have on the medical field. Bioprinting can be used to create new skin for burn victims and anyone who would need reconstructive surgery. Some examples include anyone born with a defect like a cleft lip, or women who have suffered breast cancer and want a breast reconstruction. Bioprinting will allow people on the transplant list to receive organs at a much faster pace because these organs can be modified to fit their specific body. Bioprinting can replace both human and animal volunteers during medical and experiment studies. For example, a lot of makeup companies use animals for testing. The disadvantages is one of the main disadvantages has to be the price. Bioprinting is very expensive for your average patient. It requires major investments made by doctors and scientists, and they also have to think about the cost of hiring people who are equipped for this job because not everyone is able to do it. And on average, one printer could cost up to $100,000. Another disadvantage is cell damage. The cells could easily damage during the process of bioprinting from contamination from the biomaterials, or there could be too much pressure applied from the needles used for the um from extracting the cells. Another disadvantage is that the organ that if you bioprint an organ, it could be rejected by the body of a patient and it could be very harmful. Future applications of bioprinting. Many more lives can be saved by doctors. Organ donations could possibly cease to exist, and organ transplants could become more efficient as it will no longer take weeks or months or years for someone to receive a perfect organ match. It would simply take a few days to create a new organ for a patient. This also implies that death rates in the future could decrease with this new technology. It will give hope to those who feel as if they're untreatable. Cancer could become more easily treatable as well, because with bioprinting, you could create identical models of a cancer patient's tumor to better understand how that cancer works and which treatment is best. New medication would be easily testable without the use of animals or humans, meaning people will have more access to more effective life-saving medication. To conclude, I did not have previous knowledge of bioprinting before this assignment, but I did know what about CRISPR, which is similar, which is gene editing, meaning it is used to alter the DNA sequence, which could stop the mutation of certain diseases. Unfortunately, as a teacher, bioprinting isn't a technology that I will be using, but I do believe this technology could do so much good in the world, and I'm excited to see how it develops in the future. All in all, I believe I am an early adapter because I am very supportive of this technology. I hope more funding goes into developing bioprinting. I have family members who have suffered from organ failure, specifically heart failure, and now knowing that there is technology that could replace organs and save lives is very significant. This knowledge has persuaded me into accepting this technology. Here are my references. And then finally, the steps that I took for this lesson. First, I went onto Canva and found a template that fit the aesthetic of my topic. I went on Google and searched current technology trends and picked the one that interested me the most. Next, I researched bioprinting and picked articles that seemed credible for my presentation. And I specifically picked articles from scientific blogs or universities because I wanted to make sure my information was correct and not misleading. Next, I read articles and picked out the most useful information for my slides. Then I created my slides and wrote information on each corresponding slide. After I was done with typing, I went to Pexels, which is a free to use image site, and I got my images for my presentation. Next, I used a citation generator to create my APA citations, and finally, I went back and added little icons, colors in the video so I could add a little bit more personality to my presentation. And that'll be it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.